So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Planets Through Navamsa video. And last week of Planets Through Navamsa, because today we're going to be dealing with Ketu in the 12th house of your D9 Navamsa chart. And as you know, Navamsa chart is one of the most important charts in Vedic Astrology. It's a chart that represents, your married life, strength of your planets, inner core of your planets, who you kind of like become in your life in general. So it's a very, very important chart by itself. And if you do not know, if you have this particular Ketu, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, all the other astrological details for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, constellations, and link to my academy, Maga Vedic Astrology Academy, where I am currently teaching planets through nakshatras, including ascendant through nakshatras. Okay, so let's start with our last video with Navamsa, and then we'll have some other surprise for you next week. Okay. So Ketu in the 12th house of Navamsa chart is actually considered one of the best placement for an individual, because it shows, number one, Ketu will definitely stop unnecessary wasteful spending through marriage, wasteful travels through marriage, and even stops losses within or through the marriage and through your mature age of life. But especially if you know, Navamsa is known as the spiritual ashram of a person. Meaning, does the person finds and understands who they truly are? So just because you are making millions, multi-millions in your life, you have all the necessities of life and luxuries of life, does that truly mean you know who you are? Does that truly mean you are truly happy? Does that show that you are, kind of understanding this universe? Absolutely not. The more money you are making, exactly that many miles away you are from understanding yourself. But this doesn't mean you have to let go of that money to understand yourself. So here Ketu shows that due to person's past life merits, past life deeds, after marriage, their devotion towards a spiritual path starts, where the life is no longer about them, it's about others. Life is no longer about, their own personal satisfaction and gains. It's about the other, and shows that especially because of your past life merit, you will attain a spouse who will lead you to your spiritual path. Now, this doesn't mean just because you have this, you'll have the greatest spouse in life. Why? Because some people find their spiritual path after the divorce. They run through all the wrong people in their life, whether men or women, regardless. And they're like, you know what? I've had it. I don't need this. I don't want this. I'm done with this. And I truly want to understand myself and something which is higher. And usually you will notice with Ketu in the 12th house, a person comes across stories, books, people who show them things that are outside of this normal five sense realm. And they understand it. And they're like, okay, there's something out there, so let me now kind of pursue it. And this usually, with Ketu also, you have to understand the sign placement becomes the most important. You have to see, is Ketu in a materialistic sign, or Ketu is in a very, show-offy sign? It's Ketu in a very, secretive sign. Because first of all, Ketu will behave like the sign lord that it's placed in. So when Ketu time comes to operate, it's going to operate like the planet. So maybe your past life merit doesn't take you to a spiritual path, but it takes you to a material path via which you eventually find your spiritual path. Perhaps your Ketu suddenly takes you into a political path. But through dealing with those ups and downs of politics and that political path, you try to understand that, you know what, there's something much better and bigger than this, than what I'm dealing. So Ketu does not necessarily means a guaranteed ticket to your spiritual enlightenment. It shows there are strong past life merits which will somehow lead you to it. Now, maybe that path is with rocks, or maybe just a nicely paved path. And that will we have to see with the whole birth and Navamsa, and see what impacts are being happening onto Ketu. And one thing you will also see that as soon as you get married, you will go on some pilgrimage. Ketu will bring some pilgrimage either to you or your father when it's in the 12th house. And Ketu also brings in either a mentor, like in your regular daily life, or a spiritual guru in your spiritual life. So, I'm sorry, either Ketu will bring a spiritual guru in your life or like a mentor in your workspace. And also you will notice that after your marriage, immediately after your marriage, if you have a younger sibling, they'll be able to get married. Sometimes, younger siblings have to wait like 4 years, 5 years, 3 years. But with this particular Ketu axis, suddenly their ability to either get married or marriage proposal will happen. If they don't have children, suddenly they will get children after you're married. Okay. So guys, this is my analysis of Ketu in the 12th house of your D9 Navamsa chart. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss these particular videos. And now that we're done with Navamsa, we're going to start with something more interesting next week. Probably Tuesday, Wednesday. Till that time, we're going to continue the other two regular series of this channel. Okay? So we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.